I needed to speak up for my faith, because I feel like everyone has the right to say, I don't believe in God. So why don't I have the right to say I believe in God? I was fulfilling what He had planted in my heart to do. And I was really glad that I had the courage to do it for Him. If it's something you believe and you know it's the truth, then be open about it. Because in the end, God's gonna have your back, really, and that's all you need. I didn't grow up in a Christian household. There was a time when I didn't believe in God. I was the hard-headed one. My mom prayed for me for years. Years went by. I didn't want to have anything to do with church, anything to do with God. I finally decided to go to church to get my mom off my back. But I would just feel God speak to me. You know, it was just like He was tugging on me. So I finally gave my life to God and accepted Jesus Christ.
Jonathan was a student at Los Angeles City College in a public speaking class. Jonathan was, and the rest of the class really, were assigned to give an informative speech about any topic. And Jonathan chose, well, hey, I'm a Christian, I'm going to talk about my faith.
What better to inform people on than God, right? So I ended up speaking about God.
And during the middle of that speech, he referred to the fact that Christians believe that marriage is between one man and one woman. And what he actually did is he opened a dictionary and read the dictionary definition of marriage. And this was during the fall of 2008, which around that time, Californians were voting on whether to pass Proposition 8.
The first class after Proposition 8 passed, he came in and put his things on his desk and called anybody who voted yes on Prop 8 a fascist bastard in class, and then he was so mad he dismissed class. And that's actually a big reason why I decided to put the definition of marriage from the dictionary into my speech, because I felt like it was my responsibility to speak up for those that didn't speak up that day, including myself. And then that's when he decided to disrespect me by calling me a fascist bastard, telling me that the speech was over.
And the professor told the rest of the class if anyone was offended by what Jonathan said, they could leave. Nobody left, so the professor dismissed the class for the rest of the day.
And he had my grade sheet, he had it face down. And when I turned it over in the bottom where it says grade, he put, ask God what your grade is. It was like he made it his mission to the end of the semester to keep attacking me. And I almost felt like not going to class anymore, but if I didn't go to class, I would get it incomplete. So all that hard work, all those speeches I had done already, because that was like one of the last speeches, if not the last speech, would have been for nothing. So I finally decided to speak to the dean.
The professor witnessed this interaction and came up to Jonathan afterward and said
he was gonna make it his mission to expel me from school. He got in my face. I literally thought he was gonna put his hands on me. I was very grateful with the response I got from the students. A lot of them actually came to me and told me that it took a lot of courage to do what I did, and that they were grateful that I did that.
Jonathan's case had really far-reaching effects. It was covered in the national media. It was something that a lot of people paid attention to because the facts were so egregious. And not only that, Jonathan's story really has impacted a lot of students that have come after him and who have come to Alliance Defending Freedom for help. We're able to tell his story to those students and how he stood up boldly to protect his religious liberty and to defend his faith. And those students have been encouraged and willing to stand up for their rights.
I was really glad that there was acknowledgement that the instructor did do wrong. That he did violate my rights, and that other believers can speak up and feel comfortable about speaking up.
And so it's really something that where one student stands up to protect his rights or her rights, they can have a huge impact on the rest of culture, not only just for themselves, but for the wider culture on their campus and across the country. It's no coincidence that several years later, a movie has come out called God's Not Dead, which is nearly identical to what happened to Jonathan.
I just recently watched the movie God's Not Dead. It was a movie night. So it was my mother, my sister, and myself. I can tell her what's going on in class and what happened with the professor, but I think the images from the movie that were presented to her made it more real. The whole time watching the movie, she was seeing me in the student. She did tell me several times that she was very proud of me. After the incident, I did stay in class, even though it was very difficult, and I ended up passing this class with an A. I always felt it was the right thing to do. I needed to speak up for my faith.